Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will explore what is your inner calling. So let's look at the part of you that want to be heard. Maybe lately you're overwhelming yourself, you're working too hard, you're burning out, and you're take on too many responsibilities. So this part of you, it tells you that there is something more significant than what you are handling right now. Maybe you need to take a rest. Maybe you need to slow it down. Maybe you need to share your responsibilities with others. You don't have to take everything by yourself. And let's see what is your tuition is trying to tell you. Your maybe because you are trying to do so many things at once, and you are taking responsibility for so many things, so you disconnect yourself from your child's self, from your inner child. So these cards talk about a call to revisit your childlike personalities. Sometimes you don't have to take things so seriously. You just need to be playful, to be merry, and to enjoy life, and to see the world through the eyes of a child. And I just feel like you're being very harsh to yourself nowadays or recently, and it took a toll from your mental health. So as we can see here, I feel like you're used to be someone very bright, very optimistic, playful, and very creative. However, when you overwork and overwhelm yourself with duties, you block yourself from the sun. You block yourself from the energy of your life. You became dull, monotonous, and you lose your creative self. So the inner call here is to calling you to reconnect with your inner child, the version of someone who is innocent, someone who loves to play, to feel yourself again. As you can see in this card, the sun is shining, yet you aren't looking at it. You look down to all of the ones, you look down to earth. You're trying to carry something and you're not enjoying your life, and your soul is telling you that this is not how you live your life, at least for now. So let's see what you avoid. I could feel like you overwork again. The theme is very consistent. What you avoid here is you afraid of not doing anything. I feel like you're someone who finds value. You're someone who feel recognized and valued only when you work. So that's the reason why you burden yourself with loads of work, and you start to lose your essence. You start to disconnect from your soul. And what you're trying to avoid here, you try avoid rest. You're you're avoiding learning about the truth. You're avoiding time to read books. Maybe you read books, but the books that you read is all about working, it's all about helping you to become more productive. But it doesn't help you to grow spiritually and personally. So you're avoiding your inner calling. And since you overwork, you start to avoid your emotion. You start to avoid your feminine energy. Because what I can see here from the cups and from the high priestess, it feels like you're exerting too much of your masculine energy, and then you lose the connection to your feminine energy. And this is also something that you're avoiding to grow in academic settings. Maybe you have the opportunity, you have the ability to study higher, but then you want to be occupied with your work, and this is something you also avoid as well. So let's see what is blocking your emotion, your connection to yourself. The Lovers. What is blocking here? As we can see, the Lover, it is, I feel like the blocking here is yourself. You're not taking action. Maybe even that you know that there has been a distance between you and your desired self, between you and the version you want to become. You want to be happy, but then again, you feel yourself trapped with mundane responsibilities and duties. So what's keeping you here is yourself. Because when we talk about lovers, well, actually, when I see the lover cards here, and with the meaning of what's blocking you, I can see a distance here, right? But actually, there is no barrier. There is nothing that comes under the way of these two people, but yet they're not holding hands. So that is how I feel about you. You can work through towards what you love, but you don't, or you haven't. And the Lovers is also about the choice. So it seems to me that you're taking choices of not returning yourself. And I don't think that these blockers are something insignificant or something easy that you can overcome overnight. I think this is something huge, this is something big, and it's hard for you to overcome, especially when you are trapping yourself with all of these responsibilities. These are minor arcanas, so it seems like you're stuck with your normal life, your daily lives, so that you cannot see the big picture here. So to me, it feels like you're going to be in this situation for a while, maybe for this month or the next month to come, at least, because the energy that we have here considered the blockage is very disproportional. So, well, let's look at the advice. What is the first step that you can take to return to yourself? Five of Swords. I think you need to learn to let go. And to me, when it's come to Five of Swords, the first step is not an action. You don't have to actually do something grander or do something wow or traumatic. Your first step comes from your mind. So, whatever responsibility you're having right now, what I feel is that nobody forcing you except yourself. So, the first step you can start is by dropping those swords, dropping the responsibilities that no longer belong to you. Maybe you're holding on something that isn't working. Maybe you're in a partnership, you're in a working projects that people aren't interested in it anymore, and maybe you are the only one who try to hold the theme together, you try to save the relationship, but it isn't working. You need to let go mentally. I wouldn't say that you need to end the relationship, but you need to find some space within yourself. You need to clear the fog. The fog is still here, so there are shady gray areas in the sky. So I feel like you need to let go of your responsibility, and you need to stop looking from others and go back to yourself. What I could see here, we only have one reverse card, is Page of Cups. So it feels like, again, you're being too stiff and you're lacking the playfulness of your nature. And also, if we look at this Five of Swords in a very positive way, I think for this reading only, you can be a little bit mischievous. Try to play some prank with your friends. No, not big prank, not hurting people, but sometimes try to be a little bit naughty. This could really help you to reconnect to yourself. And again, knowing that you are the decision maker here. So I feel like, although in reality, yes, it seems that there's a lot of responsibilities, but the truth is that you can drop them. You don't have to be someone who is almighty. You don't have to be someone who have to handle everything. Sometimes, I just say to this reading, you can be irresponsible for your own sake, because you're too tense right now and you're neglecting your inner calling. And the High Priestess is also talks about the need to avoid the public, the need to be in solitude, to stay with yourself, to keep silence. So I feel like, although you might feel like when you're living responsibility, it might feel like let's say you're betray someone or you're becoming irresponsible. However, the card doesn't say that you have to drop everything. Guy still hold two swords here, and he's almost like throwing his third sword. So evaluate and see what kind of responsibilities, what things aren't work out for you, and just drop them. You don't have to keep everything. I think that's it for our reading today. Thank you for listening to me until this time, and I hope I see you again. Bye bye.